Jack Tango. I'm a sophomore at UW-Madison, and I wrote this poem for our class last semester. And I'm very passionate about music, especially blues music, and I kind of channeled that passion through this poem. It's called No Soul. What do you guys think? Let's riff on rock and roll in the 50s. Yeah, we're going to talk about rock and roll. Suppose the moms, dads, and anti-hippies chose to embrace the sound of no control. There would be less young and old, black and white. Picket fences would no longer divide. And when white kids' parents came in at night, the Chuck Berry records wouldn't have to hide. 12 bars, guitars, bass drums, and a backbeat. No way to tell the white from the black feet. Fast feet dancing on worn-out souls. Rock and roll, it's the universal power of soul. Anything is possible. Buddy Miles, Hendrix, Billy Cox, they all told us so. But to hear those gypsies, just wait a while. What happens before then, you need to know. After the oldies toss out their oldies, for lack of flavor or much to savor, they gave their order. I'll have the soul, please. Now what came next is in our favor. There was no long fight with the yellow man. Nixon never showed us the hello hand. There was no need to keep records of deaths. Glory be to Sun, Atlantic, and Chess. The domino theory was that of fats, rolling and tumbling down a hill of thrills. McNamara did not keep deadly stats of Cone casualties or napalm kills. Generations united by music, unwilling to send so many children to a war that was so useless, too sick to the thought of sacrificing their young friends. Kennedy beat Nixon in a landslide. People could already tell that man lied. Foresight aside, young and old picked the pole closest to their beloved rock and roll. Long hikes, fitness, and war, a man's liveness. Speeches preaching for more managed features, wise man in the bleachers doesn't get this. I'm a man, goddamn you foolish preachers. But the United Nation under soul lets that man sit front row. A seat for bow, no room for gung-ho. Blues is in control, letting people know what's what and how so. Kennedy and Diddley, Prez and VP, blues and rock and roll, father and baby. Teaching us to live simply, together. Laugh to keep from crying, good, bad weather. So JFK still started the Peace Corps, but he didn't let a fruitless desire lead into the belly of a beast war. Peace Corps of a nation lifted higher. Beyond the reach of the threatening hands of those trying to conquer foreign lands, but with roots in a rich family tree that feeds on blues, gospel, jazz, and country. Jack dodged a bullet that was never fired, because he wasn't driving in Texas. He heard their music and was uninspired. In fact, he was on Beale Street in Memphis, looking for inspiration from the king. He had more important business to do than some silly desert politicking. Left office and fell in love with the Who. Next, we didn't get fooled by a big dick. Good golly, think the man called Little Rick. Good Johnny played guitar in New Orleans. Didn't let us get far from the cool scenes. What the hell is Vietnamization? No neologisms, rockabilly, blues rhythms, doo-wop, abomination of any more words that sounded silly. Clear the air, make room for Gandhi saying, be the change, them changes, band of gypsies. Here now, Presley, Doctor, President King, the design of a new brand of 50s. Jimmy Joplin doped up kicking it unconscious, but then woke up living it. Consciousness brought not by revolution, no need when there is one sole solution. Dr. King prescribed the United States with a vitamin for the promised land. Peace, harmony, equal united fates, placed into the black, brown, and white hand. The hippie movement was never destroyed by the need to turn on, tune in, drop out. Be cool was not a phrase that drugs employed. Less need for a temporary knockout. For rebel escapes from reality to not belong in a society unified by rock and roll, blues baby, a child born wailing and soul saving. Now step back and look at reality. There was Carter, but Def Leppard, Reagan, the decade started by 1980. Longing for the time when blues was playing, we suffered through disco and hair metal, wars from Vietnam to the Middle East. Hindsight's 2020. Now you'd settle for soft jazz, anything but Judas Priest. Now that we have finished up supposing 12-bar sections were more often chosen, the blues had a baby named rock and roll, neglected by an age that had no soul.